What's up guys, Nandra here. Today's video is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be mid-range dirt, the homebrew that I believe I showed on that I showed in a video a few days ago, versus control sword. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the deck list just in case you either did not watch the video or just in case you don't remember the deck list. This. Alright, so this is the deck list. As I said before, it's a homebrew. If you want to know why I put cards, why I put certain cards in it, then go ahead and watch the, I believe it's called Exploring Mid-Range Dirt and Tempest of the Gods. Go ahead and watch that video, and that video should explain everything. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the game. As most of you probably know by now, I really enjoy playing control decks. Either slow mid-range or control. Just because it's what I enjoy and it's kind of what I'm used to playing, because I previously played both Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Hearthstone, and most other card games. So I've been playing for a while. It's just like the type of style that I kind of gravitate to. I also really like grinder decks too, so. But yeah, so I go ahead and full mulligan here. I was ideally looking for a Dwarf Alchemist, as well as maybe Red Hot Ritual. So I do get the Dwarf Alchemist. I also get a Teachings of Creation. This is nice because it sets me up to have a sigil for my Professor of Taboos. So I go ahead and play Dwarf Alchemist here. I'm expecting him to have Whole Souled. He does have it. The reason why I was expecting that was because he didn't have a turn 2 play, but he didn't like mulligan away his entire hand, if I remember correctly. And the Whole Soul to me, as well as the fact that he skipped turns 1 and 2, signified that he might have been a slower list, which I was fine with because Dirt as a whole has the ability to go incredibly long. Like, there were actually videos from ROB of Dirt decks that would actually survive multiple turns of Satan in a row and actually win, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. All right, so here I go Teachings of Creation as well as the Earth Essence. Now you might be thinking, why did you go Teachings of Creation? That doesn't make any sense. Now, the reason why I did this was because this was going into his turn 4, and I did not want him to have Geno here, just because I don't know for certain, for 100% certain that he's a slower sword list. All I know is that currently he missed turn 2 and only barely had a turn 3 because I had a turn 2. And I just really want to avoid that Geno coming out early and just value trading into me. I just want to try to make his turns as dead as possible while I go ahead and wait to get more mana so I can get my deck online, just because my deck most likely has more value than him. So in a longer game, I'm going to be favored to win. Oh, oops. Alright, so here he plays the Shrouded Assassin, and at this point this should tell me, okay, well, he's probably control now, but I still don't know for sure because he could also be Rogue's Creed. Although admittedly I haven't seen Rogue's Creed that often. So here I go Levi plus Crafty Warlock. I go ahead and play the Crafty Warlock out first, just on the off chance that I might need to use an Evo with Dwarf Alchemist later. Alright, now here he hard misplays. He was supposed to go Blitz Lancer, trade into my 4/3, and then kill off my 2-1 with this 2-3, because this 2-3 has Bane. So the longer he can keep that alive into my undeveloped board, the better for him. Just because it means I'll have to use a resource to kill it. Otherwise, it's going to kill another one of my creatures, and can pave the way for him to go something, for him to maybe make a play like Alwida's and Evo next turn. Yeah, it was just a very, very bad value share from him. Or it was just a very, very bad trade in general from him. So here, I go Goblin Mage. I get the Levi, but I don't play the Levi. I didn't play the Levi just because I wasn't sure exactly what I was dealing with yet, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use the remainder of my Evos on. So here, he plays Alwida's. He decides to trade, and I got confused by this, because if he was going to trade, why didn't he just use an Evo? Alright, now here, I do use the Levi this turn, because he has a creature on the board that can give my Evolve extra value. And I'm also just waiting to go to turn 7. Because he has to clear something off of my board, and that will free me up to either go Junos, or it'll free me up to go Twin Guardians. But most likely Junos. Alright, so this turn, he does choose to Evo. Which kind of really threw me off, because I was still pretty unsure as to why he held the turn before. But I just go ahead and throw down Juno's Secret Laboratory. I don't Evo just because there's still a third Levi in my deck, and I kind of want to get the Evo on that. And also because I have so many Crimson Sorceries in my hand, I'm not gonna need to use the Evo for a while, as well as Professor of Taboos. Alright, so he does have the Cyclone Blade to clear, and this turn is also important. So this turn, you're probably thinking, okay, well, you could go Professor of Taboos, and that'd be really good. However, I choose not to do this just because of the way he's playing. I'm more or less assuming that I'm gonna need to use Professor on something bigger, like for example a Bahamut, or maybe a Roland, or maybe a Front Guard General. And it's just really important that you go ahead and you use your correct removals instead of your incorrect removal tools, just because you can easily lose a game that you should have won you can easily lose a game that you should have won as a control deck if you play your cards in the incorrect order. Just because every card is important, and you need to try to stretch value whenever possible. So here, I go Calamitous Curse, and I go ahead and play out Apprentice Alchemist. I'm gonna get another 3/3 for my Junos, and he's also starting to run out of cards in hand. He plays his third Alwida's. I was really surprised he had 3 of these in his hand, but he doesn't Evo. So here, I play out an Earth Essence, so that way I can get my Twin Guardians online. This is going into his turn 10, however, I still have a little bit of value left in my hand, so I felt kind of comfortable doing this just because I needed to pressure him. But here he has Bahamut, and so now you're gonna see how me keeping Professor in my hand all of these turns actually ends up paying off, because I get to go for 9 mana Elementary Alchemy into Professor, and turn during the end phase, Professor will go ahead and trigger his Earthright and kill Bahamut, and I'll also get a Choo-Choo Zombie. Here, he goes Geno, and makes a slightly weird trade that I didn't understand at first. Yeah, he goes double Geno and chooses to value trade, which is pretty bad because he set himself into Calamitous Curse range, and if I'd had a Calamitous Curse there, that would have been really good. But instead, I go ahead and Grimnir, and then Professor gives me 3 zombies. So now he needs to have another AoE. He could go Grimnir here if he wants. And that'll be pretty good for him because it'll put me at 11 HP. Which is dangerously close to Albert range. And he hasn't used that last Evo. So he's more or less telegraphing that he has the Albert in his hand. That's how he wants to kill me. Because generally control sword, the only way that they can kill you is with Albert. So here, I make a very, very aggressive play. I just go and reflood the board, and I go ahead and use my last Crimson Sorcery. If he has second Grimnir here, that'll be in trouble. But instead, he goes Maid Leader to try to fish for the Albert, and then he plays Fangblade Slayer. Now, Fangblade Slayer is a problem for me because it has just enough HP that I can't correctly kill it. And I'm also at the threshold where Albert coming down will kill me, and he did just play a Maid Leader, and I believe he didn't have like any commander, so I'm pretty sure that Maid Leader pulled an Albert. So here, I make a pretty aggressive but also safe play at the same time. Because I believe that I can still outvalue what he's doing, and because I realize that I also have to heal, I go ahead and I trade it into Maid Leader, so that way I get the Sigil. I play Veteran Alchemist, so that way I get the heal to heal myself back up to 13, and then I go ahead and evo the Melvie, just so I can push 2 more damage, because I really needed to get into a spot where I could safely kill him, because I just let him draw 4 cards for almost no reason, just so that way I could stay in the game and keep resources. However, I believe I said this in a previous video. When she comes out, I'll be replacing Melvie with the Witch of Oz. Just because I like the Witch of Oz better, because it's only you drawing cards, and generally Dirt doesn't play that many spells to begin with. Alright, so I go ahead and draw 5 cards with my Melvie. He draws 2. I have to use my last Evo, but that's fine because I draw enough sigils, so that way I can go ahead and clear off whatever he wants to do next turn. And right now, by putting him to 10, I'm also threatening lethal. And here, he plays Gawain and Blitzlancer. But he doesn't Evo. So here, because I draw the Petrification, I go ahead and I go Professor, Red Hot Ritual, and then go face for 2, because the Professor will trigger, he'll kill Gawain, and then he'll be under a lot of pressure. I have 6 damage on board, 9 if you include Professor, but he's gonna kill Professor most likely. So here he just goes for broke, because he's not expecting me to have any additional damage, and he needs to eventually play Leonidas at some point. What doesn't matter, because I can go ahead and trade, play a Sigil, and then go ahead and for style points go Elder Mage, get a Windblast Dragon, and then go face. Yeah. This is a pretty crazy game overall, and it really just came down to being patient with my Professor of Taboos. If I played it any earlier than when the Bahamut came down, it would have killed me. Because with Professor versus Sword, it's Professor, like, it only gets really good versus Sword if they don't have Tsubaki. Like, if they have Tsubaki for Professor, and they just like feel really bad. But if they don't have it, then you just kind of win on the spot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and go ahead and tell me why if you didn't in the comments below. But I would like to hear your thoughts regardless. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.